Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. Welcome back to my coverage of the brand new Extinct Marine Species pack for Jurassic World Evolution 2, releasing for all of you at home tomorrow on the 10th of August. In the last video, we checked out Dunkleosteus, and now we're going to check out the gigantic turtle Archelon, along with the new rock pillar land thing. I don't know how to describe it, which I'll show you in a little bit. First of all, let's check out some stats on our Archelon. There it is. So appeal 793, really high appeal actually compared to some of these others. It's higher than all of these over there. And we can have a look at our dinosaur needs. So it does need the platform. You can see it needs one platform. It needs a little bit of fish, needs some decent open space, and a minimum population of 2. Likes marine medium and marine small. I do not think Archelon's going to be hunting anything in terms of... I'm going to stick a Nycpheosaurus in and we'll check, but I don't think it's going to be hunting anything, weirdly enough. And there's some stats there. And over here we have our base dominance of 39, which is quite low. That's typical sort of smaller herbivore sort of territory in terms of stats. So before we do anything else, let's check out the exit animation. And of course, we'll go check out all the skins in the species viewer a little bit later on today. I love that they've started doing this thing where they've all got their own kind of stinger music, the music that plays. That is very different music than you'll have heard in the Dunkleosteus video last time around. But there is our Archelon, looking really cool. Nice to see the patterning looking a little bit different. We've got these gigantic, powerful flippers at the front and back. Really good. Look at that absolute beast. It's just a square with flippers. I love it. Those powerful flippers to drive it through the water. That really cool hooked beak there. Very noticeable, very prominent. Again, one of those things I like where it emphasizes the natural features that this animal would have had. Slightly sort of shaped, I don't know what you'd call it there, it's just kind of shaped flippers at the back there to help it paddle along, and a cheeky little tail which kind of looks like a tongue, doesn't it really? We've got that soft underbelly part of the shell, and then we've got the shell over at the top as well with this really cool ridging effect. You can see split down the middle there, and that's where the pattern pops up again. So like I said, we'll see some more colours. That one looks fantastic. We'll see some more colours a little bit later on, but yeah, big fan of the general design of the Archelon. I think it looks really cool by default. It looks really nice in all these variety of different colours as well. I don't think I've got an unpatterned one. Oh, hello. You're not meant to go in there, buddy. Oh, and we just got a little bit of the social animation. We'll see that in a little bit more detail in a bit. It seems that they decide to bonk into each other. So we'll do some social animations. There is, I hope, like a below water and above water social animation. So let's check out the below water one first. Okay, so we should be about to get another social animation. This one over here. It can get a little weird sometimes with the aquatics, you know. I think this is probably why they avoided socials for so long. It's harder to get them to sink into position correctly. Actually, I don't know where you... As you can see, especially here. Bonk. They really do like swimming through this thing. It's because one of them dives down and then... I think it feels playful in a way. It feels a little threatening, a little playthrough. It could be a mix of the two. Goes through and just bonks it in the head. What I really like about that animation is that the one that does the bonking, it proper builds up to it. It swings around the entire area, you know, builds up a little bit of speed. It's like it sees its target. It's like, yes, I'm going to swing in, I'm going to bonk that thing in the face. Again, just really cool to see them up close like this. I'm going to just, you know, have a little look at them from the viewing dome in every video, all our different creatures, because I think it's a really cool way to see them. Just got a little hunt there as well. Perfect. Really nice. I mean, there's nothing special about it. Just goes through and then chomps down on the fish. But I'm going to try to get you a slightly better a little better image of that fish hunt as well before we move on. There we go. One bite, holds it in place, and then swallows it down on the second. And there is one thing I want to show you though, so let's see that one more time. It's found its target, goes in for the bite. Right, the slow motion. Goes, lifts its jaws up. Very, very cool looking. Actually, that might be a screenshot moment. You can see the look at the face on this fish. Gets bit, and then this is a record scratch. You may be wondering how I got that moment. That little dude right there, bless him. Wait, where were we? There we were. And then let's just kind of sucks it down, basically. Lovely stuff. Right, so that is the fish feeding and the social animation. So the exciting thing, of course, is that we have this new rock pillar. Now, if you're like me, you may get a little confused when you load into the game as to where it actually is. It's actually in the rock section, and it's called the Lagoon rock platform, and it's at the very top of the rock section, which is like the last place I looked. And as you can see, you can just place it down like this. You have to place it quite far from things, but let's pop it down there. I'll give you a good look at this because we haven't seen it today. It is a rock pillar. It does have like a concrete base and some metal struts, and then this big sort of slab of rock and a slab of rock there with a little bit of coral, a little bit of seagrass, and then this sort of flat bit at the top that the Archelons can pull themselves onto. I saw some people a little worried on the subreddit that it was a floating platform, but it's definitely not. Obviously, it's got a supporting column, and that's what it looks like from above. So hopefully, we'll, if we sit here for a little while, we'll see our Archelons drag themselves up onto the rock and, you know, rest and relax, and hopefully have a little social animation up on top of this as well. Okay, I missed the first one getting up. There he is, sitting over there, having a little snooze by the looks of things. But this one, I think, is about to approach. You can see these kind of smoother areas where they can go up there, there, and there. So we should be about to see one of the Archelons climb up onto here. Really nicely animated, you know, really does feel like a giant ass turtle, basically, which is obviously what it is, but that's how it's animated and that's what it feels like. And then it just kind of sits here for a little bit and chills and looks around and basks, I guess, in the sun. What's the other one up to? Okay, let's see what you're going to do. Let's just watch them both. Now, I have seen a social animation play out on this rock on the previews for this, obviously. So I'm very curious to see how that works. As it is, they're just sort of all sitting there, scratching themselves occasionally. About to see some movement off, maybe. What are you up to? Trying to spin yourself around. I love it. It feels laborious, you know. It feels like an arduous kind of process. And then do you just slip inside, or you still have to drag your way all the way back? Yeah, there we go. Slip and slide back into the water. Fantastic. Really, really cool animations. Let's see that again in some slightly better lighting. One pull, then a little whee! Yeah, big fan. Okay, if we're going to see a social animation, this is when I would expect it to be. One of them's landed here, and there's another one approaching from behind. This is my rock, goddammit. So usually they slide up and they slide into I think there's probably 4 places. Slide onto there, slide onto there, slide onto there, slide onto there, maybe. This one seems to stop in this sort of middle location. And when it's there and another one tries to enter, they beat them back from the rock, basically. They're not having it at all. They're not interested. But they will break out, as we're about to see. Let me just get into position for that. Very logically, they don't use their head, they use their shell to try to break out. Let's try to get that a couple more times, and then I'll be less mean to them. It's got a lovely crack noise to it. They do a little flip at the end, and then it's kind of hanging there upside down for a moment, living their best life. a small problem I want to point out here, really a little bit nitpicky, but it's quite clear to me, as I've been doing this video in particular, that the lagoon creatures have an AI element that says to stay near the top of the water fairly often. You know, they'll dive down a lot, of course, but often they'll stay near the top of the water. And I suspect the point is that A, you can see them while you're working on your park, and B, when you're in the lagoon viewing stand, you can see them from the top of the water. The problem is with Archelon, which very noticeably lifts its flippers up in a way that a lot of the other creatures don't. It doesn't really look that logical to me. Maybe I'm being stupid. Maybe turtles do this all the time and I look stupid now. But them lifting their flippers out of the water so much looks a little nonsensical to me, because obviously that you're not getting any movement with that. And given that's the main way they move, they're not using their tail, they're not even using the hind flippers, they're using these powerful front flippers. That just isn't generating much force. You know what I mean? So I feel they should maybe, you know, if they can have like a custom AI thingamajiggy, I'm probably asking too much here. Doesn't that Dunkel look great there? To keep them below water a little bit more. But, you know, I could be talking utter nonsense. I've been sitting here staring at the screen for like 10 minutes waiting for something to happen, so I may have lost my mind. I'm pretty sure at this point that there is no interaction between Archelon and Dunkelosius, because they're just not showing any interest in each other whatsoever, really. So, as expected, Archelon not really one for hunting. Well, we've got a starving Mosasaurus and nothing going on. I think Archelon may well be invincible, and I can kind of see why. I think, I don't know, like, I can understand why. I think it would have been cool. I think they could have done some really entertaining, awesome-looking death animations for the Archelon if they'd put the time into that, but time has to be prioritized in different ways. I always find this, like, tricky between not like wanting to be fair, realizing game development is difficult and takes a lot of time, but also thinking things could have been pushed maybe a little bit further than they have been. This and the Dunkel interaction is a little bit of a shame for me personally, but yeah, it seems that Archelon is absolutely invincible. So that should be it for potential animations. Let's hop to the species viewer and finish off with a look at the skins. So here we go. Archelon, lovely jubbly, Sonoran Desert, Death Valley, Great Sandy Desert. I really like that one actually. Again, the basal coloration on these marine pack ones so far, I've only done 2 so far, but both of them have really nice base colors, a little bit of patterning, a little bit of counter shading. You know, even without pattern, I think they look great, which I don't usually find to be the case. Champlain Valley, Salar del Huesco, Limpopo River, I do like that one a lot for like a sea turtle. Killian Mountains, Yukon River, Svalbard, Amazon Rainforest, Mangrove Forest, and Gambia River Basin. Really nice colors there on the shell. Let's pick something fairly default to show. Let's Salar del Huesco. And for patterns, Rana adds sort of white, creamy kind of colors. Kalkarana adds reds and blacks. A little bit, you can see there's a little bit on the eye. It's kind of flame boy kind of movement. Some dotting around the fin there, around the paddle, and down here on the paddles at the back. And then obviously the main thing is this sort of a splayed ink blot kind of effect down the shell. Lithobates with green, Pulcarana with this kind of faded black, Paparana is blue, and Pelophylax is blue and yellow. And yeah, I mean, there's some really cool combinations. This is absolutely another one though where I would be pretty happy to have the I like this one a lot. This one because it doesn't, if it's obviously patterned, but I think it feels more natural. That feels not a million miles removed from a turtle you could have in the modern day, you know, in a lot of ways. Yeah, big fan of the Archelon. Is this gonna work? This doesn't work for me today for some reason. No. Some different animations. We've got like a sleepy animation. Slow swim. Fast swim. Lovely stuff. Okay, so that is Archelon. We'll be back in the next video with our Nothosaurus. And of course, that means more rock pillar animations to check out as well. I hope you'll all join me then. Throw me a like if you enjoyed the video and you've been enjoying today's highlight of the Marine Species Pack. Let me know what you think about the Archelon. I'll see you lovely folks very soon. Cheers much of as always. Bye-bye.